Hi, ladies. All right, today I want to talk about this brush here. This is called the Blend brush. This is our lightest coverage brush. Okay, so a lot of times you'll see me playing around with this brush, the big fluffy end, when I want to put on a little bit of lip and cheek color, or in the summertime if I just want to add a little bit of bronzer and I'm not really doing a full makeup look. However, you can do your full face with this brush. You're gonna get the lightest coverage. So anytime that I have teenagers who are looking to get their first compact and play around with some colors and application, a lot of times I will suggest this one. Or if it's something where you just want a super light coverage brush, some ladies like to keep their makeup up at the cottage or things like that when they just want a little extra under eye coverage or a little bronzer, you name it. So a lot of times this brush is the go-to. We have one big fluffy end here. So it does remind me a lot of the blush and bronzer brush. It's just a lot smaller, okay? And it's not as dense. So you can just see how easily those bristles move, even compared to the fluffy end on the blush and bronzer. And then just like that, there's a smaller, more dense end here, okay? So, but you can see it's not very dense. There's a lot of movement within these bristles. So I'm gonna show you how I would typically use this brush to apply my whole face, because you can still do that too. All right, a little bit different as far as the colors that I'm gonna put on first and work my way through, because I'm using all one brush. Let's start by coming into my brightening highlight color. I'm going to use this smaller end here, and this one you can just do these little like tapping movements. As I start to apply, I will also do a lot more circle. Because the brush moves with you, you don't need to really have this acclimate to your skin. You can just apply it right away because the bristles are so fine. And you're gonna get that very light coverage. So this is great if you are going for a no makeup look. Summertime, you just want something super light, or again, my teenage girls, this is one of their fan favorites. So I'm just applying my brightener. Notice how I'm putting it in that corner and then in the outer area here. I'll use up any excess kind of down the center of my face. Now I'm gonna come into, you guys know it, my mango, okay? I've got the dark under eyes, and this brush is really good for applying just that small amount of mango that I need to conceal those under eyes. And I'm just kind of going back and forth so it blends right into my brightening highlight color. And you can still see that it's that super natural look. It doesn't look like I'm putting on a big concealer. I am just kind of blending those two together using that small end of the brush. Perfect. Now I have a lot of freckling going on, so I am going to put a little bit of mango down my nose. It's a good color corrector for me. And then we'll just come through at the end when I have a little bit more of my main color. All right, speaking of main, I'm going to come into mine right now. This I am going to apply onto my face as if I was doing like the cheetah hack method. Because this one, I want to apply all over. I am gonna let the color acclimate, and I'm actually gonna flip on over and use this end of the brush to blend it. So for now, I'm just kind of filling in those areas where I know I put my main color. And I'll add a little bit down my nose and down my neck. Hard to see, but that's a good thing, right? Because that is our main color. We want it matching our skin tone. Now I'm gonna come into my contour color. I'm still gonna use this brush, or this end of my brush, but you can see how much more light the application goes on. So we're just going to place our contour there. And now let's come up by our cheekbones. You can see how the movement of the brush, it's not as dense and it's not as stiff, so it really moves. So it's kind of like painting. And I'll use up some of that color down the sides of my nose and down along my jawline. Okay, I'm gonna flip on over and I am gonna start blending out my main color. So for this, notice the movement on the brush. I am doing little circles on my face. It helps it blend a lot easier when it comes to this light coverage brush. Okay, it'll still get in your nooks and crannies if you have fine lines, wrinkles, acne scarring. And then I'm just going to pull it down my neck. But it's super light, super gentle on your skin too. This is a good one if you struggle with acne. You know how sometimes acne can get really sensitive on your skin, sometimes painful. Been there, done that, right? This is a really good brush because it's super light and it's going to be easy on your skin for you. We're just going to blend like that. Okay, now I'm actually going to come in, let's pull that contour down sides of my nose. And I like to use a smaller end to keep my contour. So I'm gonna flip over and use this smaller end to do some of that blending. And now let's flip over and we just wanna blend those two colors together. But see how it just gives that very natural finish, but it's super light, okay? I come stamp out this side using the small end of the brush. And then just flicking it upward. Okay, let's come in to a little bit of Bella bronzer. I like using the big fluffy end as well. And just do these little circular motions on your face, and that'll bring in some of that Bella, some of that warmth. A lot of times, especially in summer when I make my own BB cream, I will come in with this brush after the fact and add a little bit of bronzer in those high points of my cheeks and my forehead. Now let's come into Desert Sunset here. I love this end of the brush for my lip and cheek colors. I like more of a subtle finish, and it does just that for me. Finish up with a little on the lips, and you know it, brush through those brows. You could even come back in with this end of the brush. You could come into a little bit of your contour. Add a little bit of your contour color up on your eyelids. If you're not doing a whole glam look, if you're not doing any type of eyeshadows, it just adds a little bit of depth and dimension around your eyes. Super pretty. You could even take a little bit of that extra lip and cheek color and just finish off like that. Super easy. Same makeup, just a different brush, okay? So it's gonna give you the lightest coverage. You can still do your entire face. A lot of times you will see me using this one for applying my lips and cheeks or my bronzer or especially illuminator because it's really good at picking up that pigment. But you can do your whole face with this too. So if you're looking for a light coverage brush, or maybe you have a teenager in the house who is ready for her first set of makeup, this is the go-to brush for them, okay? Any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you are enjoying these guides.